What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of SacTown Movie Buffs. Once again, I'm Kier, and this is Jason. And today we are back reviewing a brand new film that just started streaming on Netflix, which is called I Care a Lot. So I guess without further ado, I say we just get into it. So I'm going to have you actually take this one on, Jason, if you don't mind. So the film is called I Care a Lot. If you want to tell us a little bit about that film.
Sure. I Care a Lot, like you mentioned, is a new Netflix original film. It stars Rosamund Pike as a corrupt care manager. Basically, she's somebody who has made a career out of basically getting senior citizens who can't really take care of themselves, or maybe are defenseless in some ways, assigned to her as a care manager. And after that point, she pretty much has them committed to a retirement home and pretty much drains all of their resources from them. So, and she's the main character. She's not the villain. Although I guess everybody in this, it's kind of a movie where everybody is a villain, which I like those a lot of the time. I like those kind of movies. I call them bad people doing bad things to each other movies. They can be really fun if you got kind of a dark sense of humor. But this movie, she's made kind of a career out of doing this. She's very successful. She knows exactly what she's doing. And she comes across what is referred to as what she and the doctor she works with calls a cherry, which is seemingly a perfect mark. An older lady who's exhibiting early signs of dementia, has apparently no family, is very well off. She seems like the perfect mark for, she's like the perfect mark. They call it a cherry. So, but needless to say, what makes the movie interesting is that this perfect mark is anything but. She, played by Diane Wiest. I don't remember the character name, but the older lady is played by Diane Wiest, who I'm glad to be seeing getting some work again these days, because I miss Diane Wiest. She ends up being a challenging prey. I'll put it that way. She ends up having connections to some unsavory individuals, and it turns into kind of a thriller, actually, much more than I expected. I expected it to have some suspense elements, some thriller elements, but it's pretty much a full-blooded thriller for like the second half. But yeah, I really, really liked this movie. I thought Rosamund Pike was fantastic. I mean, I've liked her before, especially in Gone Girl, but I think this is like, she plays this role to the hilt, and she's in the movie for pretty much the entire running time, and she owns this movie. But she's definitely not the only thing that's good about it. It's got a lot of style. It's funny. It's suspenseful. Diane Wiest is great in it. Peter Dinklage is also in there. He's great in it. And without getting into spoilers or anything, I really did like the ending. I thought it was maybe going in a direction that I wasn't going to love, but ultimately it ends like the ending. The ending after what you think is going to be the ending, but then there's another ending, sort of, in a way. I thought that really nailed it it was just like the perfect ending, is all I'm going to say without spoiling anything. So, but yeah, I liked it a lot. What did you think here?
Yeah, I loved it, man. I thought it was awesome. It was just super funny in a lot of parts. It really is a dark comedy, but it's really unpredictable, I thought. I had we were talking before, and I had some. I didn't have any reservations about the film, but I had seen like other reviews of some, like, well, not reviews, I should say, but just people online in other groups that I'm in that discuss movies. And there were people that like actually were like, oh, I had to turn it off like within like the first few minutes because they were so mean to old people and things of this nature. And I was like, so I was expecting something that was going to be like just super dark and evil, but I was like, it really wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? I've seen other films that were way, way worse and way more, I guess mean, if you will, to elderly. And then we had also talked about a point that it reminded me a little bit. I had just watched the other night, Win Win, which, Paul Giamatti's character was a lawyer who was actually dealing with elderly people, and basically he was a lawyer that was making determinations whether or not the person was able to care for themselves, or if they needed basically a trustee or a caregiver to basically come in and take over, which he kind of ended up doing in that film. So it was somewhat similar in that capacity, but I mean, obviously she was just, he was kind of a nice guy. He was also looking to get a buck in that film, but he was more of a nicer guy. She's just pure, like, just evil. So, but like she said, she had a scam going. She, had a hustle, and it worked. Clearly she was very successful at it, but she just obviously ran into the wrong person who, the seemingly cherry that, who's basically, like you said, an elderly lady with no family, lots of insurance and money. So it seemed like a prime example. But the whole scenario is what I really took away, was just crazy that kind of stuff could even happen, because basically they had like this really good racket, whereas basically she and the doctor were basically, she would go into the doctor's office and basically say, hey, I'm looking for somebody, and she would recommend somebody who was, completely probably fine, no issues, just happened to be a senior, and basically they would get some sort of immediate court hearing on this person, saying basically they were unfit for trial, and go from the judge and present this evidence without the elderly person even being there in order to argue or defend themselves. So they would just basically come in, kind of railroad this person, and then immediately show up at their house with like some papers saying, yeah, you've been basically deemed by the court that you're, unable to care for yourself anymore, and we're going to basically put you in basically a retirement home, and you're going to give me access to, all of your, I'm basically your caregiver now, so now I have access to your bank account, I have access to all of your, everything, your house, everything's, and I'm going to be the one basically making all the decisions. And what's crazy is it was such a racket that even the facility that they put him in was a racket as well, because she would have him sign in, and then she would go talk to like the manager of the facility and say, yeah, this person's not allowed to make any outbound phone calls. They're not allowed to leave the facility, the premises. If they want to talk to anybody, I'm the only person. Yeah, keep them highly medicated. I'm the only person they can talk to. So it's just crazy. But it's funny though too, because there's a lot of humor in it as well, especially Peter Dinklage. He's super funny in there. I don't know. He's just funny in almost everything that he's in. He's just super funny. But it's got a lot of humor. It's got a lot of dark comedy, and it's got a lot of twists and turns that I didn't see coming. It's like you said, like you think that one part this is going to be in, and then it's not, and there's even some twists that happen beforehand that I didn't necessarily see coming as well. Just in terms of like, these two kind of like factions like butting heads and going at each other, and so there's some twists and turns with that I didn't see coming. But I loved it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was, like I said, a great way to really kind of kick off some good films for 2021. This was basically the third film that we had seen this year. One being The Little Things, which neither one of us liked. The other being Judas and the Black Messiah, which we both enjoyed. But I thought this was even better than both of them. So I definitely enjoy it. So if every film that I watch is better than this, and it's going to be a great year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely no. It was great. Definitely one that I highly recommend. Like I said, it's streaming now, so anybody can check it out if you have the service on Netflix. But yeah, it's fun. It's funny. Like you said, it's got a lot of style to it. It's got a lot of twists and turns. You don't know how it's going to end. And and it's just like a really good film about like bad people, basically. But there's tons of films that are like that.
I would encourage anybody who turned it off in the first few minutes to try it again, because I mean, you're not supposed to like her. You know what I mean?
No,
you're not supposed to get enjoyment out of what she's doing. In fact, a lot of the enjoyment for me was seeing how, considering how bad she was, seeing her struggle when things don't go her way, because they really don't go her way.
I mean, she really kind of meets her match very early in the film, and you really get to see her struggle. And a lot of times she's able to like kind of wiggle and finesse her way out of those situations. But a lot of things do happen to her in this film. And you're kind of like, well, good. You know what I mean? I mean, you're kind of in, I don't know, because she's a lead, you're somewhat sympathetic to her, but you're also you know, very like she kind of does deserve what's coming to her. You know what I mean? So, but it's also part of the problem is the people that are doing the things to her are even worse than she is. So that's like, so it's kind of like, so it kind of becomes like the lesser of the two evils in the film. You know what I mean? Like she's a very bad person and she's getting kind of what she deserves, but also the people that are doing it to her are even worse people. So you're like, I don't know who I should really be rooting for here. So, but
right.
It's like I said, it's
that's kind of the point. That's what makes it kind of unusual and interesting.
Yeah, and we had this conversation before. It's kind of akin to like Breaking Bad, which is like one of my favorite shows of all time. You know, Walter White was not a good person. He did terrible things. The problem is that he was always encountered with people that were even worse than he was, and so you still kind of were rooting for him because the people that he was dealing with were even worse. I mean, these people. I mean, he ended up killing people or whatever, but these people were straight murderers. You know what I mean? Like very bad people. And so you do kind of have some sympathy for someone that's doing a lot of bad things because maybe there is some good in there somewhere. You didn't see a whole lot of that from her, but it was definitely you had some sympathy for her in certain parts. So
yeah. I mean, she's the protagonist. So it's almost like instinctual, But
that's true. Yeah,
I would encourage anybody to go back and give it another shot because it's a fun movie.
Oh yeah, I strongly recommend anybody check it out. So best movie of the year, so far. At the end of February, but
number two out of 3 for me. So still pretty good though.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Cool. Well, with that said, I say we get into the reviews. So I care a lot. What's the overall grade you would give it, and the face you would give it?
I would give it a strong B+, which is a 4 out of 5 for me. It doesn't sound like I loved it quite as much as you, but I did thoroughly enjoy it. So 4 out of 5, which is a nice big smile, because I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Like I said, this is one of the rare times, where I actually give a movie a higher grade than you actually gave, which is really rare, especially in this upper echelon for sure. So I actually went
for a non-action movie.
Yeah, for a non-action movie.
It's pretty common for you to rate action movies higher than me. Not that I don't love action movies, I do. But this is It's the
same with
usually.
The same way with horror. I mean, it'd be really rare for me to give a horror movie a higher grade than you would in most situations. So I don't. It's probably happened, but I can't think of many times that it has. No, this is a rare time where it is kind of more of a drama comedy, or if you will, where I give it a higher grade. But yeah, so I went with a 4.5 out of 5, and so that's going to be this face. Just a big grin, a big smile, a big cheesing it, loving it. I loved it. Like I said, it wasn't quite perfect for me, so I couldn't give it that 5 stars, but I gave it 4.5. I was definitely smiling almost every minute of it. It was just so much fun, and it had so many different just wacky, crazy characters that would show up, and there's so many twists and turns and that sort of stuff. And like I said, it's one of those films that I'll probably watch again relatively soon. So definitely. Cool. Anything else you wanted to add about I Care a Lot?
Nope.
Well, great. Well, we thank you guys for watching. Obviously, let us know down in the comments. Have you seen I Care a Lot? What was your thoughts, your take on the film? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Are our grades too high, too low? Who knows? But as always, if you like the channel, we ask that you like, subscribe, make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our updates. And we'll be back again with another show for you guys again real soon. We thank you for watching and hope you have a great day. Bye.
Bye.